I'm Felicia.
And I'm Ian.
And we are the Paranormal Lovers.
Hello, paranormal dudes, dudettes, and dudays. Welcome back to another episode of the Paranormal Lovers.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Sorry, I got the hiccups.
Well, hello.
Oh, I got the hiccup burps. I hate those so much.
Oh no.
All right. Thanks for joining us for another week, episode 109.
Yeah.
If you hear the kids screaming in the background, it's Sunday. Let's go ahead and get the business out of the way. If you're interested in learning the history that is currently being erased, give our show Rethinking Our History a listen. We talk some shit over there. If you don't like us talking shit, you're not going to like that one. If you would please be so kind, give us a follow and share on social media, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. We also have videos of both shows on YouTube. To find us on any of these platforms, just search for the Paranormal Lovers in the search bar. If you would like to support the making of this shows, we have a couple of ways you can do so. First, we have our merch shop over at theparanormallovers.threadless.com. Shit, I had a brain fart. When this comes out, we'll actually still be having a sale for $14 sheet t-shirts and 35% off of everything else. I forgot to say that on the last one. Oh well. It goes until the 25th, so y'all go and get.
$14 t-shirts.
We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/the Paranormal Lovers, where for $5 a month, you get early access to unedited videos of both shows, as well as stickers and other swag. If you want to hear some cat ASMR before this one starts, you should go check out the Patreon.
Got a kitty in my lap.
Yeah. And finally, if you have any personal stories, be it true crime, paranormal, historical, or you have a topic request, email us at theparanormallovers@yahoo.com. So what did you love about this week, babe?
Well, I like that my hours aren't affected much from said tariffs.
No tariffs. Listen, guys, there's no tariffs on
a lot of people got their hours cut, but
secondhand and used items, so thrift.
Yeah, go to the thrift store. Like
thrift. Yeah, I came home with a 10-gallon bag for $20 the other day.
Yeah.
Thrift.
What did you love about this week, baby?
It was spring break.
Spring break?
Yay. I'm tired.
Yeah.
But it's been a good week. I love that I haven't yelled too much.
Yeah.
I haven't put my hands on my kid. We over here breaking generational cycles and shit. Folks, we doing the work. We're doing the work. And I'm glad it's over. And I can take a long 4-hour nap tomorrow. Because bitch is tired.
Yeah.
Everybody's always like, oh, well, I think you're just using it. And I'm like, no. I physically must nap, people, or my body just doesn't have the energy to get up and go. It's just, I don't know. COVID fucked me up.
Yeah.
COVID fucked me up. All right. I need some anxiety medicine for when she's on the gorilla tag.
Yeah.
Because she
screams a lot.
Screams so much. But I said it on the last one. I'll say it on this one. Loud children are a sign of a safe and loving home, so
it's true.
My traumas are mine, not hers. All right, what do you got for us this week?
All right, episode 109. So today, I think I want to give you guys a little peek at our Rethinking History show.
All right.
But don't worry, this history episode or lesson, we like to call them lessons on the Rethinking Our History show.
I kind of wanted to be a history teacher.
It does have paranormal in it.
Okay.
So without further ado, today we're going to be talking about Hitler's fascination with the occult and monsters.
Fucking hell. I was going to cover... Are you going to talk about the Thule?
Yes.
Damn it. I was going to cover the Thule.
Well, I just barely touch on them. So.
Okay, I can do a more in-depth one on the Thule.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No.
It's a fucking supernatural, man. They got me. They'd had a whole episode about the Thule. That's where I got golems from.
Yeah.
It's fucking fascinating.
Now, preface: Nazis are bad. We don't like them.
Punch a fucking Nazi in the goddamn throat.
And if I ever meet a full blown "hello, I'm a Nazi," I'm going to punch it, him, her,
Them,
whatever,
it,
them,
shit.
mass amounts of them in the face. So
Listen, he may look like that, but he's not that kind of white guy. Okay.
I don't think you want that. So don't be a Nazi.
Don't be just don't be a Nazi. Why you gotta be a Nazi?
Also, what happened in the Holocaust of World War II is awful, and I will be talking about smidgens of it.
So trigger
warning.
Also, if you're a Holocaust survivor or denier, just turn this shit off, because we ain't.
Right. Also, the timing of this episode is weird. It's coming out right after Hitler's birthday. And I know that's a little bit sus.
It's 420. Happy Easter. Happy 420, folks.
It's a coincidence, allegedly.
Is it a coincidence?
Now,
universe, what you doing?
Before we talk about Hitler and Germany's belief in the occult, we have to discuss why Hitler wanted his people believing in the occult. See, once you get people to believe in something that is not true or against their own beliefs, then you can really get them to think that way about other things too.
I'm like, what you talking about? It's not true, sir.
The occult,
sir.
I mean,
like you don't side eye.
It's not scientifically
all magic is a science that we haven't figured out yet. That's all that is.
This is true.
Like you don't side eye David every time you walk past him in the living room. Like, I know there's a ghost attached to that dog. He's looking at me. He's watching me.
So let's say that I start a rumor that skeletons always have arrows on them, and the rumor goes around and people start believing that skeletons have arrows on them. Once everyone believes this, then it would be easy for me to go around and tell the same people that you can make a portal out of obsidian that will take you to a different dimension.
I'm like, are we talking about Minecraft here?
It also made it easier for Hitler to convince his people of non-occult ideas and beliefs. Sounds a lot like an authoritarian administration we have in the U.S. right now.
Fascism.
Let's see, where was I? She glitched.
Oh no.
I glitched too.
Oh no. We're all glitching. Glitch tech.
It also gave Hitler and the Nazis a twinge of mystery to their leadership. Like they were being led by a mysterious magical group hidden in the shadows.
It's the Illuminati.
Dark forces pulling at their groups. During the time of Hitler's rise of power, a lot of Germany's historical roots came from the pagan religion, even though they were mainly Christian at the time, which is like, okay.
Yeah.
Hitler wanted to appeal to people that believed in old Germanic beliefs. A lot of times Hitler would blend pagan beliefs into the Christian religion to give Germans a sense of nationalism, and created a Nordic Hitler cult that pushed anti-Semitism. Yes, white nationalism was part of Hitler's playbook.
Oh, gee.
There are a wide range of theories of why the Nazi Party was rooted in the occult. A lot of them seem to think that the Nazi Party was the result of arcane and demonic forces. One of Hitler's closest friends claimed that Hitler was possessed by a demon since he was a young boy. He said that when Hitler was around 17 years old, he told him that, quote unquote, he would return Germany to its former glory, end quote.
Make Germany great again.
He would make Germany great again.
I don't know, MGMA. There's nothing I can do with that.
Right. Hitler's friend said,
or MGG,
quote unquote,
Yeah, sorry.
It was as if another being spoke out of his body and moved him in such a way as, or so, and moved him as much as it did me. End quote.
That's mental illness speaking, folks.
Yeah. Hitler had books in his private library about the occult. One such book was
Don't we
Magic,
all?
History, Theory, and Practice by Ernest Schertel. Skirtle.
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 Ernest had interest in flagellation, dance, occultism, nudism, and BDSM.
Did you say flatulation?
Yep.
Like farting?
Yep.
And BDSM?
Yep. And had been an activist for sexual liberation before 1933. Hitler was said to have marked passages in his book, one that reads, "He who does not have the demonic seed within himself will never give birth to a magical world." I'm like, that's all right.
That sounds like some Aleister Crowley shit right there.
It does.
I'm like, he who does not have the demonic seed. Okay. Fun fact. The one with the seed can't give birth to a world anyways.
This is true.
You have to plant the seed, and it's us who have a portal to bring life into this world.
Yep.
Sorry. Keep going.
A theosophist named Alice A. Bailey said that during World War II that Hitler was possessed by what she called dark forces. One of her followers, Benjamin Cream, thinks that Hitler and a group of equally evil men that joined up with him in Germany had combined forces with a group of militarists in Japan and a group that included Mussolini in Italy were releasing dark energies of Antichrist. These theosophist teachings said that the Antichrist was not a single person, but rather the Antichrist was a force of destruction by many. There is no proof of Aleister Crowley trying to contact Hitler during World War II, but rumors have been passed around about it. John Simmons was a literary executor of Crowley's. He published a book titled The Medusa's Head, or Conversations Between Aleister Crowley and Adolf Hitler. The book was purely a fictional writing, but it made a lot of people think that they were conversing with each other.
Because people are stupid.
But there were never any sources or evidence of them meeting. Some sources seem to think Hitler was under a demonic spell, that he had surrendered himself to it before the start of the war, and that it was this demonic magic that was guiding his actions. Hitler in 1939 went on an expedition to Tibet to search for the Holy Grail.
Shocker.
It is said to be the most ambitious expedition of the SS, or Special Police. It is also a theory that the Nazis were conquering Europe with the power of the Spear of Destiny, which, if y'all don't know what that is, it's the spear that killed Christ.
Yeah. You know, some of this, like, I'm like, I want to roll my eyes and kind of like, there's some, I don't want to say validity to it because it's rumors, but like, there's a reason why people don't fuck with like Donald Trump and his family magically, because they are highly protected. They've had people doing work for them for generations throughout their line. These people fucking believe in witchcraft, whether they like come right out and say it or not. They fucking do. They're like, this worked for our family back in these centuries. Let's do it again.
Yep. All of these theories may or may not have been real, but they did help to contribute to racist beliefs of the Nazis in the 19th and 20th century. The Nazis were a lot of times very unscientific and chose to rely on pseudoscience so they could push their worldviews. The Nazi Party used occultism from the time it was formed. They started the party under the name the German Workers' Party, or DAP. DAP.
I'm like, why is this fucking girl running around dabbing all weekend? Like all week. She keeps going, look, Mom, I'm dabbing. Look, Mom, I'm dabbing. And I'm like, did Maddox show you that? I feel like Maddox showed you that.
Probably.
Like, this is the you can't see me John Cena kid. So,
but interestingly enough, the German Workers' Party and DAP was founded by members of the Thule Society.
The Thule.
Which was a group that was dedicated to studying mythological origins of the Aryan race. Active members of the Thule Society that rose to power under the Nazi regime were Rudolf Hess, who was deputized by Hitler, Alfred Rosenberg, Hitler's head of ministry, and Dietrich Urquhart, who founded DAP. The Thule Society focused on the study of Ariosophy. These beliefs were said to have been very influential to the Nazis. They believed in the power of magical runes, such as the ones found in the SS insignia. Occultist Guido von List and Lons von Liebenfels believed that the Aryan people were intentionally bred by electricity from interstellar deities called Theosia or Theozoa,
Mm-hmm.
and that other races were instead bred by apes.
Okay.
According to them, their magical powers were lost over time as the result of interbreeding with other races. Liebenfels would go on to circulate a magazine called Ostra, a magazine based on those beliefs. Ostra would go on to influence a young Adolf Hitler.
Ugh.
The Thule Society also believed in a Proto-Aryan race. They believed that this race came from an island known to us as Atlantis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though the Thule Society had a lot of connections to the origins of Nazism, they disbanded from before Hitler's rise to power. Most occultist-related beliefs were suppressed under Hitler's rule, all except Heinrich Himmler's Rasputin-like occultist. Karl Maria Williget. Karl's philosophy in the occult would become the only Nazi beliefs in the occult, so they could control the narrative. Williget had developed a religion based on the German god Ermin, a god that dated back to 228,000 BC. I don't know how they
Know that.
figured that one out, but man, that's like dinosaur times.
No, dinosaurs were much, much further back. Millions of years back, but that's still
228,000.
I mean, the U.S. is only 250-ish years old. Like, we're a baby nation. There are cultures that have been around for millennia. Like, they've been writing shit down for years, man.
But so Williget said that it was a time when the Earth had 3 suns. He said that the Earth was populated by giants, dwarves, and other mythological creatures during this time. He claimed to be descended from a line of kings from then. Karl Williget was also known to have schizophrenia. Himmler was known to consult with Williget using his prophecies when issues arise. This happened to be how they chose the castle in Wewelsburg that would go on to house the SS. It became the base of operations for his troops and a special room in the castle that housed a crystal that represented the Holy Grail. Williget was also the designer of the Death's Head rings that the SS soldiers wore. They were personal rewards that Himmler presented to them himself. Himmler was drawn to Williget's beliefs in paganism. He didn't like the Judaic origins of Christianity, which I don't blame him. uh, he wanted the belief in the he wanted them to believe in the old Germanic gods, and wanted to restore that kind of religion. Williget attempted to stamp out any other competing philosophies to his Ermenism.
Ermenism. See, this is actually still a problem today in the occult and pagan community.
Like one says that the other one's wrong.
Well, there's that, but just like white supremacy has weaseled its way into a lot of these subcultures and sub-religions like Wicca and Norse paganism and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't know. It's real fucked up. That's why I was like, I like the witchcraft thing, but that stuff doesn't really feel right.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know. It's still a problem today. It's a real big problem.
Mm-hmm. There are also rumors of an occult society during that time based on Viril, a magical substance that is described in the book The Coming Race. It was a 19th century fictional book that describes a traveler who got lost in a cave and found a subterranean society of supernatural beings called Viril Ya.
Yeah.
Yep. In the novel, they used a magical fluid called Viril. They used this substance for telepathic manipulation. They could heal, destroy, or change their surroundings. The Viril Society has never really been verified.
Well, no. Has any interterrestrial society been verified?
Nope. On the 22nd of December 1920, the Nazi Party sponsored the Winter Solstice Festival. It helped the Nazi Party restore radical and spiritual unity in the wake of the war and the left-wing revolutions. For nearly a decade between 1935 and 1944, the Heinrich Himmler charged a Hexen, which is a special task force to deal with witches, and it was an SS Witch Division. They created a SS Witch Division. They would collect and archive material on the persecution of pagan religious practices by the medieval Catholic Church across Europe. The SS division piled up over 30,000 documents from regional archives, basically gathered books.
Mm-hmm.
Its purpose, according to Himmler, was to solve the riddle of how the Aryan Germanic religion was defeated by the Jewish Christian religion.
That's what I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know how that religion won. How we let that religion win.
The SS found that Nordic witches were the guarantors of German faith and were natural healers. By accusing the so-called witches of consorting with the devil, the Catholic inquisitors were able to criminalize the practice of German religion and murdered its spiritual leaders.
That's what they do.
Yep.
That's what they do. That's what they've been doing.
In 1933, Otto Rahn called Crusade for or against the Grail, in 1933, Otto Rahn wrote Crusade for or against the Grail. Rahn argued that the cup of Christ came from the Indian mana, the symbol for a stone fallen from heaven. But it then was brought to Europe from the Himalayas by a white dove. Himmler and the SS sponsored Ron's second book. It was called Lucifer's Court and was published in 1937. In the book, he speculated that the Grail lay at the center of a medieval cult of Luciferians, devil worshippers.
Luciferians.
These devil worshippers practiced a pagan Ur-Aryan religion drawn from Tibet and northern India via Persia. Accused of heresy and witchcraft, these last representatives of the Indo-Aryan civilization of Thule or Atlantis in Western civilization had been eradicated by the Catholic Church, even though some of it was preserved by the Knights of Templar and Tibetan monks.
Mm.
So the Knights and the Tibetan monks kept some of the stuff.
Yeah. Probably pretty sure the Tibetan monks for like spiritual and educational religions, and the Knights Templar as a trophy.
Right.
Because white men.
Yeah. Ron's theories linked Buddhism, Hinduism, and Indo-Aryan mythology with the pagans. Luciferianism, witchcraft practices across Germany. They believed the Ur-Aryan civilization had to flee to the Himalayas after a series of floods. Nazi leaders sponsored everything from astrology to parapsychology and radiotheism. It's basically pendulum work and dowsing rods.
Okay. We just call that divination in this day and age.
Yep. Hitler and Himmler.
That's why I keep getting confused, because I'm like, is he talking about? Nope, it's Himmler.
Yeah, it's
Himmler.
Himmler was one of his main guys. So Hitler and Himmler also had a belief in the world ice theory. It's a theory that celestial bodies made of ice determine the course of cosmic and human history. The Nazis even used occult-inspired biodynamic agriculture. They would harness cosmic forces in the soil and the stars to prepare the athletic fields in Berlin for the 1936 Olympics.
I mean, I make moon water, so I can't say shit.
After Mussolini was captured and sent to prison, the Nazi SS gathered 36 occultists to track down and find him. Hitler also took a magical approach to his wartime operations. The Nazis employed professional astrologers and diviners to produce propaganda and gather up military intelligence. The German Navy, under Hitler's rule, created a pendulum institute in 1942 to locate enemy battleships.
A pendulum institute?
Yep.
Like
a whole building of people doing pendulum work.
We're talking like Stranger Things, but it's just pendulum work.
No, more like a Charmed. You ever seen Charmed do the pendulum?
Yeah, I know what a pendulum is. I have one.
Right.
I'm just saying it's like we're talking like Hawkins Laboratory, but it's just people playing with pendulums instead of getting in a tank of water. Like,
yep.
It is so fucking funny how the government and everybody wants to trash occult religions, wants to trash this woo-woo stuff. It's so eccentric, it's so eclectic, it doesn't exist, blah, 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 blah. But they're also over here going, do you think we could do drugs to control people? Do you think that remote viewing is real? Do you think telekinetics is real? Can we do this stuff?
Can we study it?
Like, but then they're over here like, no, that's real. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. Also, LSD's bad for you. Can we have it back, please?
See nothing. An infamous SS doctor, Sigmund Rothschild,
Yeah.
also trigger warning, this guy's a bad guy,
Oh no.
who is the son of Hans Rothschild, used natural healing and biodynamic agriculture as well. He was one of Germany's leading anthroposophists and believed that humans can, through inner development, learn to access a discrete spiritual world. He became one of Himmler's more notorious acolytes, conducting human experiments at Dachau concentration camp.
Oh no.
In the summer of 1943, the Nazi Party released a pamphlet with the title, "The Jewish Vampire Brings Chaos to the World." It was an anti-Jew propaganda on, quote unquote, the Jew as world parasite, end quote.
I just want y'all to remember, in case you're not sure, in case you didn't know this, Hitler modeled his whole fucking scheme on the eugenics programs in the United States.
And Twilight.
Okay, but still, like, largely, he based all of his shit off of what we were doing in this country.
Yeah.
Just remember that going forward, folks. Yep. He got his ideas from us.
This is why I say that it kind of crosses over with our Rethinking Our History episode, because all this shit happened. Like, it is all...
It's like, yeah, it's kind of funny to talk about it, but it's like, these were real people doing real things, folks.
Yep.
Real people doing real things that we are seeing be repeated daily.
Yep.
Daily. Again, we don't fuck with him because he is highly protected in the spiritual realm.
Like this part right now where Hitler's calling the Jews vampires. Look at
They're all rapists and criminals.
Look at what Trump's calling people. Like look at it right now.
Are you fucking kidding me? People don't want to see that. They just want to stick their fucking head in the sand. Well, your head's going to end up getting chopped off because of your fucking ignorance.
Yeah. But anyways, it argued that World War II was an existential conflict between Aryans and Jews. It said that Jews had propagated political and economical black magic for 3 millennia. It said that when a wound is ripped open on the body of a nation, that the Jewish demon always feeds in the sick place.
Jesus Christ.
Like a powerful parasite from dreams.
Just replace it with black or Mexican.
Right. And it's the same thing.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? Oh, it's this side that's burning things down and rioting and causing trouble and chaos and blugger, 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 blugger.
The only way that it's different now is they're saying that the Jewish people were omnipotent supernatural monsters. Like, so in Mein Kampf, Hitler made many references to Jews being vampires, bloodsuckers, and spongers. Kind of like the name calling of today. But Hitler explains after the death of a vampire's victim, he sooner or later dies along with his victim, which is why Jews would always search for new, healthy societies on which they could feed for longer periods of time. He said that, like an undead vampire, the Jew needed the smell of decay, the stench of cadavers, weakness, lack of resistance, submission for the personal self, illness, and degeneracy.
The call is coming from inside the house. I think someone's projecting on how much people like to go and feed off of other civilizations.
Right.
Until they're weak and they don't resist. And calls coming from inside the house.
Yeah, I mean, you can really mirror that to what's going on today.
Looking at it going, ain't that what you're doing?
It's exactly
ain't that what you're doing? That's why I'm telling the little baby in the store I'm going to grow her up so she can go steal Hawaii back.
But the Nazis didn't just draw their theories from Darwin, Kipling, or the Bible. They also relied heavily on the supernatural imagery from racial occultists. These were like the ones that we were talking about, where it's like, oh, if you're not white, you know,
If it ain't white, it ain't right.
right?
Uh,
By calling the Jew superhuman vampires hell-bent on destroying the Aryan race, Hitler was able to convince Germany to murder thousands of its own innocent civilians in a monstrous fashion. In medieval Germany, many believed in lycanthropy as well.
Werewolves.
After the Second World War, a man by the name of Robert Eisler gave a lecture at Oxford on the subject. He said that the belief that a man could miraculously turn into an animal was revived as a belief in. Hold on a second, I lost where I was.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Look for the lycanthrope. Also, if you're interested, Supernatural has several episodes about the Thule and Nazis in season 8, 11, 12, and 15.
Yep. So he said that the belief that a man could miraculously turn into an animal was revived as a belief in the Third Reich. Hitler once said there would be nothing more thrilling, quote unquote, to see once more in the eyes of a pitiless youth the gleam of pride and independence of the beast of prey, end quote.
Okay.
He believed that these lycanthropes would transform and gather into packs to hunt down Germany's enemies in the dead of night. It's Twilight.
They're going to eat everybody, sir.
Right.
And also, it's not Twilight because those are indigenous shapeshifters. They weren't werewolves. They were
Right.
shapeshifters. Big difference. Sorry, folks.
Hitler urged his soldiers to gather themselves upon the enemy like packs of wolves. Hitler's headquarters
Over there.
His headquarters in Ukraine was known as the Werewolf Compound, and his headquarters in East Prussia were named the Wolf's Lair. The research of both Himmler and Alfred Rosenberg produced reports that said incarnation of the werewolf runs through Aryan and German fairy tales and naming conventions, and was the characterization of the German racial spirit. They seen the Jews as vampiric and evil in nature, while they visualized themselves as werewolves and thought they were heroic men that could change into animals and that they could never serve the devil.
Maybe they needed to watch Twilight.
Maybe they did.
And realize that not all vampires are bad, okay? Some of them just want to live their lives. They didn't choose to be bitten.
Right.
Okay, just leave them alone.
They said that werewolves were the forces of good because they were dogs of God and that they were defending the people's souls from evil.
No, sir. You're hellhounds.
Yep.
Is what you are. Hellhounds.
The Nazis sponsored the republication of Hermann Lahn's 1910 novel titled Der Werewolf, which was about a band of partisans defending Germans against the insurgents during the 30-Year War. Hitler named one of his wartime operations after werewolves. It was Operation Werewolf.
So clever.
And to him, it was a core element in his vision of total victory. The Germans also searched for mythical and fantastical weapons. They would go on to look for anti-gravity machines, death rays, massive missiles, with no facts of these even existing.
Just build them.
Right.
Like, you're Nazis. Build them.
In the final throes of the war, a lot of Nazis believed that they were immortal, that their fantasy world was reality. Let me say that again. A lot of Nazis believed that their fantasy world
was reality.
that
They
a
were
magical
cult.
priest or even Hitler himself, someone himself, would come at the moment of their death and bring them back to the dying light.
So what you're saying is
Back from the dying light.
they were in a cult.
They were in a cult.
Nazis were a cult.
Does it sound familiar?
I mean, I'm just saying, listen, we started the history podcast because we saw the writing on the wall.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they would believe that Hitler would save them from death, or perhaps a new prophet would save them from being destroyed. In a way, this thinking was sort of therapy for Germans suffering from material loss or psychological distress. Because you got to remember, this was war.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if
There
you see
was
the news of what's
crazy
going
shit
on
of going
between
on.
Russia and Ukraine right now,
Yep.
I'm sure there's tons of people out there, charlatans and snake oil salesmen out there going, oh, if you just give me this and that, then I can make all of this stop. I can make the war stop. I can get your family money. I can get you to safety.
Yeah. In the end, Germans were left with only fantasy and no real cover for the truth that Hitler had caused a Holocaust. And no matter what the beliefs of the German people were, the eradication of the Jews from Nazi Germany was evil and wrong. Doing this episode made me think of the US now and how it is in the throes of fascism. And if we're not careful and don't fight back against the same ideals that Hitler once preached, then we will inherently suffer the same fate. The occult is fascinating, but saying that there was only one type of it to force racial violence is dangerous. And on that note, this was Hitler's belief in the occult.
Nazis and the paranormal.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, listen. The occult, for one, is inherently political.
Yeah.
Okay? It is inherently political because people who have practiced the occult have been ostracized. 9 times out of 10, it's queer people, it's people of color, it's people of lower income who believe in this stuff. But if you really look, if you take indigenous culture and African culture and Hispanic culture and even Irish culture, German culture, and put them all together and look at them, they have a lot more fucking alike than we do different.
Yeah.
Okay? Than we do different. Just because I'm melanated and I can absorb carbon from the sun. I mean, I'm trying to think of some good qualities of white people, but I'm struggling here, especially about y'all skin. Y'all just like walk outside and blister. I love freckles. Y'all got beautiful freckles. Like, I got freckles too. But anyways, you know what I mean? It's just
Been trying to make it look like a V from Vendetta.
Yeah. Love that shit. I'm waiting on Guy Fawkes Day to happen in the US of A. It ain't gonna be me because I don't want to go to prison.
Right.
I'm not suicidal, nor do I have any plans to run away. So don't come after me. But I hope somebody
Also,
will someday.
We're not suicidal.
That's what I just said.
We don't want to run away.
That's what I just said. I have no plans on going anywhere. We're gonna be at Pride in June, y'all.
Yep.
June 28th.
Don't forget to show up.
Haywood Co. Pride on Main. Let's see. Yep, June 28th. It is a Saturday. So you guys come by, see us, get a shirt. Come buy a shirt. I guess we got to go deal with this kid. I think her VR died.
She's done.
Yeah, she's been knocking on the door trying to get our attention. But we can't have her in the video because YouTube doesn't like it.
No. Love you guys.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us for this wild episode.
Hope you guys like that one. Ugh.
Ugh. Yeah, don't like it. Don't like it at all. It's not fun. We'll see you guys next week.
Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.